A good midday Tuesday to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89 in the Green Mountain State. We have a frontal boundary with some rain headed our way. This is mostly set up along this particular area here. You can see the oddball kind of trough being carved out here with digging action with a major impulse in the upper level jet stream. And then this continues to see a kind of a frontal boundary, and we've seen a lot of these this winter, and we got more to come. This particular shot of rain looks like it's probably good for about somewhere between a half inch and about an inch or so, setting up probably for a lot of places around 3/4 of an inch. There's a chance that some areas could see a little bit less than that, but it looks like a pretty good slug of rain that's going to fall, especially during the evening hours on Tuesday evening and continue into the morning hours, but before tapering off to scattered lighter rain showers during the overnight period. It does look like this particular shot of warm rain is also going to exacerbate streams and rivers once again with a flood watch that will go into effect later on tonight, and that's for some potential of ice jams and the snow melt raising the streams and rivers. And we do have a few ice jams locked in place that could release later on. And then this gets followed by some snow, but that happens after a nice little break in the action. That'll take place on Friday, and it looks like that'll be relatively benign. We do have also a little bit of gradient wind issues. These are relatively benign on the fence, but something to mention. Expecting little impacts, but there could be some impacts along the typical spots with southwesterly to westerly to northwesterly winds blowing by during the day on Wednesday, and that's going to also feed in the colder air with sharply colder temperatures once again working into the region for the last part of the week and going into this coming weekend, and setting up cold temperatures for some snow again on Friday. Beyond that, a little bit of a weak weather system that's going to push on in, and this is going to be producing a few snow squalls or snow showers along about Sunday. Great weather on Saturday as it looks right now. Quickly looking at the temperature schemes, here's our area of low pressure, and it's loaded for bear, but most of it is going to track north of our region and swing in this warm sector part of the storm, and that's what's going to be arriving tonight, and it's already getting into some parts of New York State. Notice how cold it is continuing up in parts of Canada, minus 38 in some locations. Plenty of cold reservoir of air, and that's going to be pulled in behind the system as it moves on through. Let's take a look first at the temperature anomalies. On the left we have the European model. On the right we have the CMC, which is the Canadian ensemble. And they match up pretty well, so we're going to run the model. This is well above normal temperatures, and of course we're seeing these continued warm intrusions, and this is what we have going. This is valid about 7 o'clock this evening, and we can see some pretty warm air running a good 25 degrees above normal. And these warm intrusions have been coming fast and furious. But we cool off, of course, behind the frontal system. That takes place with a fairly sharp cold front during the Wednesday, about midday on, as temperatures will do a free fall. And we'll be into below normal temperatures at that point in time. And then as we oscillate just a little bit here, we're generally going to stay in a colder regime, it looks like, to the end of the week. So the way it's setting up here, this is our Sunday Alberta Clipper system, a little bit of warming out ahead of it, but it moves on through, and we're really into some colder than normal conditions going in beyond the period into the early part of next week. This is the 06Z model run of the European on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we have the Gfs Ensemble. And we'll run the model here. You can see the incoming rain. We're dry currently, getting a little bit breezy, but we have rain incoming for tonight, and it's a pretty healthy slug. This is about 3 to 5 standard deviation, so a pretty good shot of moisture coming on through, where rain may fall moderate, even briefly heavy for a time. Now you'll note also just to the north of the Canadian border there is an area of freezing rain, and then it blends into snow. Looks like that's going to stay to the north of us. We might get a little bit of freezing rain action right along the leading edge just as this moves in this evening, and there could be some slick spots, so east of the Green Mountains, be careful out there. But it's generally a rainfall, and then as this area of low pressure then moves on out, it tails off with just a few flurries and really not a whole lot going on. A little bit of a gusty wind on the backside, and that's what's going to affect especially the central and southern Green Mountains and adjacent eastern slopes. That's going to happen mostly during the overnight period into the day on Wednesday, and then things settle down pretty quickly as high pressure builds in, which should be a pretty good day for basically Thursday. And then beyond that, you're looking at the snowfall. And this is a similar system, except that it's shifted a little bit south, and it's been staying that way. So far, so good. Now, European model has a history to suppress these things just a little bit more. Looking at the Gfs Ensemble, you can see that we're getting into just a tiny, tiny bit of mix of sleet, but a pretty good snowfall for the most of Vermont as it works on through. This is valid at about 7 o'clock on Friday evening. And what ends up happening, and looking at the modeling again, so you see that we tail off with a little bit of lighter snow during basically going into Friday night. And then by Saturday we have this ridge of higher pressure that's going to be ridging into the region, bringing us another good shot of decent weather and a decent amount of sunshine with us, although the ridge is really collapsing. It's weakening pretty quickly, but we're indicating for some decent solar generation here on the day on Saturday. And then here comes this Alberta Clipper system. And it'll probably bring us a pretty sharp cold front with some snow squalls or snow showers, and that works through on Sunday. And then beyond the period here, it looks like some pretty good weather overall, maybe some lake effect streamers eventually along about Tuesday, but overall not bad weather to start the week early next week. Okay, the Gfs Ensemble centered on Montpelier, Vermont. These are the two main precipitation makers. This is all rain and this is all snow. Let's take a look at one thing right off the bat. 850 hectopascal temperature. Temperatures above 0 degrees centigrade, all rain. Below that, all snow. So you can kind of get the picture there. And in terms of precipitation types, all rain, and then the rest of the week it's all snow. So going back to total QPF, the first bout here is around 4/10 indicated. Now the models have been reducing back a little bit for this particular rain event. It's mostly going to be during the evening, so it's a quick hitter, and then we level off. And then here's our snowfall, and we end up roughly about 1 inch total for total accumulated precipitation. This is wind at 850 millibars or hectopascals, roughly about the top of Mount Mansfield. So we have gusts up around, probably see winds stronger than this, maybe gusts at 70. So pretty good little blow here with that frontal passage during the morning hours on Wednesday or overnight. And then the winds fall well below critical levels. And we talked about total snowfall. The Gfs Ensemble is giving us around 8 inches and centered on the Barrie-Montpelier area. And this is our little uptick here. This is on Sunday. This will be just some snow showers or snow squalls with that Alberta Clipper system with a frontal boundary swinging on through. Pretty dry across good portions of the north. This is where some pretty cold air is located. And our storm track is Gulf of Mexico feed. And then basically you can see it goes right into the northeast United States. Switching over to temperatures, looking at the climate reanalyzer, you can see where the cold air is located here, off to the north and west of our location. We're just barely into the warm air, and that is going to be changing up during the day tomorrow. Meteorological output statistics during the next 5 days. For high temperatures only, the only place that's above normal is the southeast United States to neutral. And then about 3 days later, of course, this is going to get pushed on in. You're seeing a pretty good Arctic bout here of colder air. And you can see that it makes it to the east coast, trying to hold strong across Florida. And some little bit of lee effect to the Rockies, some Chinook winds and whatnot. And that's about it. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.